Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Sportsfellas.
Here we go. It's your Buckeye believing Houday hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
Everett back. It's your boy Tristan.
The Mano champ himself, Eric, is back in the lab.
All right, my boy Eric is back. Better than ever than a sequel. All right, you guys, we're going to break down the college game day of the week. Also, we're going to do the NFL Prime Edition games to watch. We will have our show, Mano a Mano. Will Eric repeat as a champion? We'll just have to see. Also, we will do a show called Pack a Punch, my fella, boxing MMA review. We will be doing that pretty soon. But before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
College game day of the week was the Kansas State Wildcats visiting the Missouri Tigers. And it looked like the mauling was the other way around. Eric, take it away.
M-I-Z-Z-O-U. We might be back. You know, it's been a little while since we made an SEC championship game. I'm not sure if we're there yet, but it felt good to beat a former Big 12 rival. You know, the next state over K-State. I know a lot of people didn't believe it. It was a 3.5-point game on the Vegas FanDuels and DraftKings, but, you know, a 61-yarder in overtime and a win is a win. So we got the W.
I'm really proud for Missouri. I mean, Missouri's a great team to watch. You know, passing by there in Columbia, it's a good campus. You know, shout out to everybody over there in Missouri. You guys did it, because that was, in the words of Tony, that was great.
Big ups to Como. Big ups.
No, I wouldn't say SEC championship, but
yeah. Hey, can someone unplug this guy? This OU fan, every time we're just trying to do something.
Talk about an easy game that they had.
Yeah. They beat up on a community college, but it's okay. It's all right. But no, indeed. No, go ahead, Tristan. Go ahead. Give me a hard time.
oh, I mean, I don't really pay attention to Missouri that much, but I am not a fan of K-State, so you know what? A win is a win, so I like that.
Indeed. Any other college games that you've watched?
No. Georgia started off real slow against South Carolina. They were down 14. Came back. Iowa started out real slow when they put on
I saw.
Michigan.
Did y'all see that clip of Iowa State missing that field goal, and that really lost the game? Because that was very debatable. Because it went right above the upright, and they said it was no good.
And they've had some kicking issues for the last couple of years, I feel like.
But that's just debatable on the refs' part, because man, that looked like it could have been good. Just they couldn't review it, so that really lost the game.
Tough. Boston College gave Florida State a run for their money. That was supposed to be a 28.5-point game.
Yeah, that was a big
Barely the Seminoles. I mean, they're up in the rank. It's been
Number
a while.
3. Yeah.
Last time they were that, I think it was Jameis Winston. Wasn't Jameis Winston was in Florida State? They were, during that year they won the national championship. They were ranked high. Hey, I'm glad some of these teams are coming back, like Texas. Now, they still have to play tonight. I think they play Wyoming. So, depending on the game.
Yeah, that's an easy.
Wyoming's a good team for their level.
Yeah, but they're not on the level of a Texas.
They shouldn't be, but, I mean, they'll catch someone every now and again.
It's true.
Hook 'em horns. All right, you guys, before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
On to the NFL Prime Edition games to watch. So we're going to focus on key marquee games that are going to happen tomorrow. So let's go ahead and let's kick it off with the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. So, Chris, our focal point here is who is in more desperate need of this win, the Bengals or the Ravens?
Oh, the Bengals, I think they're 0-1 while the Ravens are 1-0, so that's a big one. And It's division, so obviously, I mean, for both teams, it's a big game. Right now, the Ravens, I know, are dealing. They got a little banged up last week.
A lot of injuries.
I think they were down to their backup, a couple backup offensive linemen, a couple backups in the secondary.
Mark Andrews is questionable.
I bet he'll be. I bet he'll be out there. But I'm curious to see if the Bengals can bounce back as well. I mean, that is by far the worst that Joe Burrow's looked, probably since he was sometime in high school or junior high. I mean, that was horrible. He couldn't throw. I don't know how much of the snaps you guys watched. I'm sure you were watching the Steelers game.
Yeah.
But I mean, the ball just wasn't staying in his hand. I mean, he could not get a grip on it. Could not throw it well.
Yeah, fun fact, they subbed in Elijah Browning toward the fourth quarter. I don't know if it was to
Jake Browning. Yeah.
to protect
the backup.
yeah, the backup.
Yeah, that was anyway. So I'm going. I mean, I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one, but they're definitely in need of something this week, and it's going to be. I mean, it's always a close game, division game, and both of them come out. Yeah,
outside.
and these two go back and forth pretty well, so it'll be a hard knock game.
Yeah, definitely the Bengals have something to prove this game this week because they came in thinking. We all came in thinking they were going to be a contender, and I feel like every single team that you would consider an AFC contender really lost this week. So a lot of teams have something to prove, but I think especially the Bengals because right after that payday, oh man, did not look too good. Did not look too hot for you guys, but that's okay. I mean, I think that they didn't play all preseason, so that was really their first game altogether. But on the Ravens side, on the Ravens side, I feel like Lamar Jackson really has something to prove. He didn't really play too great in week 1, but now that J.K. Dobbins is out again, I wonder if they're going to do running back by committee again, or if they're going to lean more towards a single
I think
running
Justice
back.
Hill's kind of they're going to lean on him. I think he's the number one of the committee at least.
Well, we know already that Melvin Gordon just got called up from practice squad, so that's going to have some leadership there as well. Eric, so what are your thoughts? What do you think Lamar Jackson's going to have to do tomorrow to go ahead and capitalize and make them 2-0?
I think this is a very interesting game because you have two AFC North quarterbacks that both got big paydays in the offseason, right? So you want to see that money, that investment pay off. And I don't think in the first game for either of these guys, it doesn't look like it was money well spent. So it's very interesting. I think Lamar has something to prove. He has to show that he is the guy because he got paid, and after that holdout and everything like that. And then you got Jackpot Joey. That he didn't really show up. First game, I'll give him that. A lot of these elite guys, and yeah, Chris, I said Joe Burrow is elite. They didn't play in the preseason, and it shows. There's some rust there, and so I don't think that's his best. He's definitely better than that. We've seen him do better, but I think out of the two, Joe Burrow has the most stuff he needs to prove because this week, because we all know it could be them in Kansas City again, and he's got to be ready when he plays that team.
So my question to you, Chris, is we know that Jim Schwartz, arrived to Cleveland and kind of bolstered the defense, and they looked amazing. Myles Garrett was after
I was
Joe.
gonna say,
I mean, the
Steelers better be watching out this week because that was as much the Browns' defense as it was. Because it wasn't just Burrow's rusted. I mean, he got the ball to Higgins. Higgins had 0 catches. He's never had 0 catches.
There was no.
I mean,
the timing was bad, and also you guys were at Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland. The home crowd was amazing.
Oh, and it was it was a mess up on the lake. I mean,
it was raining. It was a wet game.
Yeah. But it wasn't even like a heavy rain. It was just like a slick rain. It was weird.
Yeah, well, I trying to recall here. Who are you taking, Chris? Tristan, who are you taking tomorrow for the game?
For Bengals and Ravens? I got to go with the Bengals, man. They played terrible week 1, but they're still the Bengals. So.
Hoping for a bounce.
I got Bengals in this game. It's going to be a close game, maybe a 6-point game.
Well, I'm going Bengals. Win or lose, they're still going to be.
I'll take the Bengals. Although what Lamar Jackson has to do, we all know he can run. If he can't get like a good pass off in enough time that like Hubbard, if like the pocket starts crashing, just like run it out. He can run. The Bengals just have to be prepared for him to run.
I'm gonna just take the dirty bird. I'm gonna take the Ravens. I just feel that the Ravens, this type of game, is going to be in the trenches because they're familiar with each other. And the thing is the Ravens play similar defense as the Browns, but I think the Ravens are just a tad bit more explosive. But, I mean, it's going to be the same view, so they're going to have to change up the scheme.
As of right now, the line is Bengals -3 for your sports bet.
So they're the favorite. So
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on over to Dresden's Team Chiefs Kingdom.
Yes, sir.
Yes, these guys lost to the Lions. Anyway, so Chiefs are going in to Jacksonville tomorrow to face off Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eric, who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game. They got punched in the mouth. That was a catch game on the schedule. Nobody really thought after the Lions, the way they ended the year, that they were going to come back the same. And I knew their defense was good. Their coach has them fired up playing with their hair on fire. And I just think Patrick Mahomes is going to have his best weapon back. Travis Kelce should be back for this game.
And Chris Jones.
And Chris Jones, he's got those Taylor Swift tickets, so he's gonna play, and with his incentivized contract. So I think the Chiefs win this one. And this is a rivalry game. Let's not forget about this, but I think the Chiefs got it.
Oh, it's 100% Chiefs, bro. I mean, I don't know how they would not win this game, but I'll tell you what, Travis Kelce's coming back, but I feel like that takes a lot of pressure off our receivers because we saw week 1, they weren't cutting it. But more importantly, I still have faith in Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore. I still have faith in all our receivers. I feel like last year, the few games Kadarius Toney did play, I mean, he showed, he catches the ball, he can make some really great plays, and he stepped up and took responsibility about that terrible performance. But I still have faith in him this season that he'll step up to the plate when Mahomes needs him to. I mean, it was just week 1. Players have terrible games, and that was just a terrible game by him. But other than that, man, we shouldn't have lost. It was just some growing pains with our younger receivers, and I think we're going to go into Jacksonville and not shut them down, but I think it's going to be a really great game. So Calvin Ridley, I love that he is back. He's one of the best receivers in the league, in my opinion, and the fact that, I mean, he showed that week 1. So he's somebody we're going to have to look out for this week.
Mike's not on. Well, real quick, before I get back to Don, here's the deal. Back to your wide receiving core. Calvin Ridley and Zay Jones, they're going to have a great game tomorrow, and especially with Ingram, there's just a lot of weapons going in against the Chiefs. Now, we know already the Chiefs can't stop the pass, and they struggle against passing the run. I mean, guarding the run. So this is going to be one of those games that I feel that it's literally going to be about points, like in minimizing errors, capitalizing on errors, and hopefully make it a good game. So to sit there, you have a great point. But to sit there and say, oh, yeah, well, one team's going to dominate the other, I don't think that's going to be happening.
I don't think that's going to be happening. I think it's going to be a close game. And don't disrespect my secondary, all right? They aren't the best, but they will get the job done.
Driz, I can pull the plug on you.
Round 1,
Did you see
fight.
Jared Goff had a
We're
hard
having
time
technical
even without
difficulties,
Chris
you guys.
Jones.
We
Go
have
ahead, Don.
Chiefs.
Go ahead, Don.
Chiefs.
They're not the best, but I'll tell you this much. They will get the job done, all right? Do not disrespect my secondary. They're
Shout out
very,
to all the Chiefs
very
Kingdom.
young. Very young.
Well, not to sound like a hater, I'm going to have to pick Jacksonville on this one.
Man.
Because they're a better team than Detroit, and I do feel that, with Calvin Ridley on one side, and you have Zay Jones on the other, and they have a decent running game, so therefore they're going to move the ball a little bit better than Detroit did. So, not to hate on Kansas City, and this is Travis Kelce's first game back, so he's going to have some growing pains in that. Chris Jones, I don't know how much of a training camp he's had. I don't know how he's going to be effective to stop Jacksonville, so that's why I'm going to give the edge to Jacksonville, and the fact it's in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Don. A lot of those reasons that you were saying, Chris Jones, I know he's coming back, and it was obvious, I thought, the loss that he wasn't there in the middle of the defense last week. I think it's going to help, but he missed all of offseason. I mean, he has no reps, no nothing, and there's a little rust there. He's going to have to bang it off. He's going to be, that I was supposed to go where on that one? I forgot. Sorry, guys. There's going to be some of those mistakes, and I don't know if Jacksonville is a team you can make mistakes against anymore. I think Peterson's really got that ship going the right way, and obviously Peterson was a disciple of Andy Reid, so there's a lot of knowledge in those two games. So I think this is going to be a really close game. I think Jacksonville loaded up in the offseason. I think they're ready to rock and roll, so I'm with you, Don. I like Jacksonville in this one.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs because, to be fair, their run game, like their run, stopping the runs last week, that was a lot with Chris Jones being out. Chris Jones back in, it will at least help, but Jacksonville does have a better running game for sure. Even like read options and stuff like that with Trevor Lawrence running in. But the Chiefs they're the better team really. And with like if Kelsey can like actually step it up and play well instead of like he in the training camp.
Yeah, remember he hyperextended his knee. So
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you something, Everett. There's a movie. This is way before your time. It was back in the '80s, and it represented the city of Detroit. It's called RoboCop. And so, what RoboCop did for the Detroit Lions was what the Chiefs wide receiver core did. They dropped it. They were dropping the ball. They couldn't catch it and do anything. And so now that Patrick Mahomes has his wide receiver, so the confidence is back. And I'm going to reiterate back to here. Now that Travis Kelce's back, now Patrick Mahomes has that safety blanket now of saying, okay, hey, I got my go-to guy. And then also, too, back to his wide receiver. So, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, all those guys are going to have to step up because at the end of the day, if they can't help out Patrick Mahomes, we all know what's going to happen. Defensively, they're going to say, hey, you know what? Let's just triple team this guy. Let's try to stop the run. These guys aren't going to really, there's not going to be no respect in the air. And then they're going to be able to get after Mahomes. I mean, what do you have to say on that?
I agree. I just have too much faith in my team. Andy Reid talked to him, said, hey, y'all got to do better. Y'all are going to be on the bench, right? And I think Rashee Rice had an amazing game. His first game as a rookie, I thought it was great. He had that touchdown. And MVS didn't do too bad, but the only problem is those two guys that didn't do too bad didn't get many looks or many balls on their way, and that was very unfortunate. But I think this week, hopefully they'll get more involved. And if not, then Kadarius Toney's and Sky Moore's going to have to step up. And like I said, I have faith in them, man. I mean, they're young. They're still getting to know the ropes. And, they had a bad game. It's whatever.
I got you. We'll stay tuned on that. We have to do an addendum real quick because we forgot this on our last show. The Sunday night game, we have the Miami Dolphins going to New England to face the Patriots. Don, I'm going to kick this off with you. Who's in more in desperate need for this game, the Miami Dolphins or the New England Patriots?
I'm going to have to go with the New England Patriots being more desperate because otherwise that puts them in a deeper hole in the division. They got a good defense, but the question is, can they keep up with the speed and firepower of Miami?
Yeah, it's definitely the Patriots are in need of this game. Dolphins, they looked so good. Even if they were to drop one, I think there's a lot of faith that they could get back on it. Not the Patriots. I mean, they're going to fight for every little thing they can get, and this one's going to be really tough, even at home.
Yeah, the Patriots easily need this game more. Like AFC, they're in the AFC East. Yeah, so that division, they're easily the worst team in that division by now. Even with Aaron Rodgers gone, they're the worst team in that division. They don't really have any weapons. Mac Jones, not great.
Yeah, the Patriots, they need this win. They need to stay in the division. But I think with Rodgers gone, that just so much for what we were saying earlier this year about the Jets.
They're 1-0.
Yeah, they were 1-0. Did you see Zach Wilson play? Zach Wilson can't play like that all year. Literally, Garrett Wilson had to catch a touchdown. That was supposed to be a back shoulder fade. You know that touchdown? That did not look like a back shoulder fade whatsoever. That was right to the DB. So, listen, with Aaron Rodgers gone, no. Listen, you cannot trust Zach Wilson with the ball. They're going to rely so heavily on Dalvin Cook.
They're going to try to
Breece Hall,
trade
bro.
for an Andy Dalton or
I feel bad for Driss because, he was going on NFLshop.com and he was about to get that jersey real fast, trying to get his FanDuel points. And the next thing you know it, crap, he's injured. Okay.
Yeah.
Got to get out there. So I know they had a clearance special for the Chiefs. But anyways, go ahead, Eric.
The Patriots definitely need this game. I don't know if they have enough defensive firepower. Miami looked like it was hitting on all cylinders. Tyreek Hill was doing any and everything he wanted to. What's scary about Miami, though, is Tua's one hit away from being out of this league. let's not forget about that.
it looks like he's fallen. It really does. Like he's taking some sacks, and it looks like he's getting down better.
You know, you get hit in the head a couple of times, you learn how to do that.
Oh yeah.
But I think they're going to protect him. I think he has a real wide receiver core. He's actually got a decent tight end as well. And as long as they can give him time to do what he needs to do, they're going to be a playoff team. And let's not forget, I always talk about rivalries. This is always a rivalry game. Even when Miami was in the dumps, they always played the Patriots
100%.
tough. Everybody remembers that time where Gronk was playing defense, and clearly we know why he plays offense. He stuttered and fell down, and Miami won that on that running back.
We can go all the way back. I know Miami has always given the Patriots a hard time. It was always, and even in the 80s with Dan Marino, and then what was his name? Grogan was his name? In the 80s Patriots. Oh, it's back in the day. But anyways,
Before Bledsoe, I don't remember.
way before Bledsoe. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I agree with Eric. On this, the Miami Dolphins is just, they're an oil-rigged offensive machine. Tyreek, Waddle, and then the running back game is going great as well. I mean, they have everything going. Last week against the Chargers, for as much pressure they were trying to get to Tua would be able to get that ball out. And they're in unison. Coach Daniels got them all firing in all cylinders. But we're talking about Bill Belichick, you guys. Let's do not forget the master of execution, Bill Belichick. This guy is going to find a way. How many times have we seen him through the years, in the Super Bowls, in the playoff games? He always tries to find a way to take away your person. Defensively, New England's not bad. They did give the Eagles a hard time. It's just that offensively, I don't have no trust in them. I mean, did Juju do anything last week anyway? I mean,
No, not really. Not much.
it was mostly just all run and a little here and there on some passes, but it's going to be a heyday game. I got the Dolphins winning this game. Who are you taking, Don?
Gotta go with the Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins. FanDuel has them a 2.5 point favorite. I think it should be more like 7.
Yeah, I think it
that's
should
a-
be bigger. Yeah.
That's a
Flippers
pickup
coming
right
to
there.
town.
I might need
For a
to-
3-point
I might need to
win.
put in on that one.
Right.
All right, let's go move on over to them boys, the Dallas Cowboys. Going against the who, Tristan?
Jets.
All right. Well, we know we don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore, and we got our friend right here in the house. I know deep inside he's a Cowboys fan, but we'll just leave it at that. So I'm gonna kick this off with you. Just now that Aaron Rodgers is gone and Zach Wilson's replacing Aaron Rodgers, how do you see this game playing out tomorrow?
Well, I see the Cowboys not beating up on the Jets, but I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the Cowboys. Kind of one-sided here. So in my opinion, the Jets are gonna have to rely heavily on their running backs because I think we saw last week, like as soon as Aaron Rodgers went out, all they did was like run the ball.
They still
felt like
ran
didn't-
it pretty well though too.
Yeah, they did, but that was against not the Cowboys' defense. And the Cowboys they have an amazing defense. I think we saw that. So it's gonna be tough because they're not gonna win the game in my opinion, just trying to run it and feed Brees Hall and Cook. They're gonna have to try to pass it, and I do not trust Zach Wilson with any part of my body. Like no bone in my body. I do not trust him to throw the ball whatsoever. So that could be considered. They don't have anything going on offensively. So it's the Cowboys, man.
I'm going to say there will be blood. There's blood in the
Yeah.
water already. Dallas coming off that skunk of the Giants. They have one of the best defensive players in the league in Micah Parsons. They're hitting on all cylinders. The only person who's now in Dallas that's hitting on all cylinders is Dak Prescott. I said it. He needs to play better. He can win this game on his own, but the defense is probably going to score again.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys. The Jets. At the start of the season, I had faith in them. They were a completely different team than last season, and then Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and now they've just got a couple better receiver team.
Yeah, same season. I think it's going to be a similar game for the Cowboys as it was in the Giants game. Dak didn't do much, but they hit the hurt on him because the defense just walked on him. And I don't see the defense giving any room to the Jets offense. I think they see that it's going to be a run game. They're going to stop the run, go, okay, Zach, try to beat us. And then it's going to be interception for a touchdown, fumble for a touchdown, sack again. I mean, it's just going to get brutal. defense is still going to be good for the Jets, so maybe it's not going to be quite as high a score. Maybe there'll be a couple more field goals. But yeah, it's going to be bad.
You got to go with Cowboys on this one, just like everyone else, because I don't see offensively what the Jets can do to get around that Cowboy defense. You know, I know the Jets defense is going to try to contain Dak Prescott, but you know, even if they do contain him, they can't score either. So it's like their defense is going to wear down, and that's when the Cowboys are going to really come alive and just rack it up on them.
Shout out to all of them Cowboy fans. I know you guys are happy right now. Every year, you guys are always saying, this is your year, this is your year. You guys have been saying that since 1995. But I'll tell you this. This is going to be a great year because right now, I mean, we know Brandon Cooks is questionable right now, but still, it falls on Dak. Let's just set aside the defense. I'm happy that defense is doing. I mean, we're talking to Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's a defensive genius. And they're going to cover. It seems like this is reminiscing the Denver Broncos Super Bowl when Peyton went kind of down, and so then they had to play conservative. It was the defense that was keeping them in the game. And right now they're going back home. They're feeling good. And the thing is like with the Jets, they're just Coach Saleh's going to have to figure out a way to get Zach Wilson to minimize the errors. I mean, maybe rely more on running the ball. I mean, you got two good running backs. Play conservative. Look at your progressions. Figure out, okay, hey, let's don't do too much. You're not a Josh Allen. You're not Aaron Rodgers. So stick to your strengths. If you're hearing the show, Zach, I'm giving you some good points. I'm telling you, just stay focused. Don't try to do too much. And that whole 80s thing that you got going on is not working for you. So just stop while you're at it.
I just feel so bad for the GM because he did all that work to make that deal to get Aaron Rodgers. $60 million and 4 snaps.
He's saying he's going to be back this year. He said, don't count me out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. As someone that's torn his Achilles at 40.
You seen that movie Troy? Do you remember what happened to Brad Pitt after he got hit? Yeah, okay. So we got that all figured out. Well, that concludes that show. We're going to get ready for our show, but before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our phone sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sportsfellas, things can get, well, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
This is it, the moment that we've been waiting for. Our reigning champion, Eric's in the house. This is the 2023 edition of Mano a Mano. Who's going to unseat Eric? Who knows? We'll just have to see.
It's tough every week.
All right. Let's show them Dukes, you guys. So let's go ahead and square off first. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with Everett going against Driston here. Everett, I'm going to start this off with you.
Take it easy, Driston.
All right. So we have 2 judges here. So I'm going to be judging, and so is Brett as well. So pretty much, it's just all about not necessarily about being right. It's just if you show some good points, that's how you win. So let's kick it off. Everett. With Austin Eckler and the linebacker Hendricks going to be out for tomorrow's game against the Titans, are the Chargers facing a difficult battle to remain contenders for the division, or this is just a mere bump on the road?
This is just going to be a bump on the road. Justin Herbert, he's still a good QB. Allen, they've still got weapons out there. He's still got wide receivers out there. He can throw the ball pretty well. If they can't run the ball, then they don't have to run the ball as much. If they don't run the ball as much, I mean, sure, they might not get many yards on running, but, he can still, get long throws, Keenan Allen. He's got wide receivers. Plus, they've got a fairly good defense in Joey Bosa.
Yeah, as much as it pains me to say this, it's kind of just a bump on the road. But I do think that if anybody's going to give us a tough time in the division, it's going to be the Chargers. But this is the Titans we're talking about, man. I don't think they pose a big enough threat to really, even with Austin Eckler out, I don't think they're going to lose this game. Because they still have, Joshua Kelly, I believe is his name. He's a great running back. And honestly, I feel like Austin Eckler is more of a receiving back anyway, so they don't really focus focus on running the ball that much. It's not that big of a priority. But he was just a touchdown machine and just got a bunch of receptions out from the backfield. And I feel like Joshua Kill is going to sort of play that same role. And, yeah, in my opinion, the Titans, they don't pose a threat, man. They just don't have enough firepower for that.
One last thing. I would also like to point out Derrick Henry against Joey Bosa. It'll be a fun matchup to watch. I think that Joey Bosa is just the better, like, he can just clear out all of the offensive linemen, and then Derrick Henry's down.
Well, here's the thing, you guys. Last week against the Dolphins, regardless if Bosa's good or not good, or Khalil Mack there, they gave up a lot on the ground. They gave up a lot in the air. That's dangerous because we know that the Titans don't really have a air attack right now because DeAndre Hopkins is questionable right now. And Derrick Henry, every time you play the Titans, you have to stack the line. That's all you box up the line. That's it. That's been the formula that the Chiefs introduced when they played in the championship. That's how you do it. Just slow down Derrick Henry. And then who's their quarterback? Is what's his name still their quarterback? Ryan Tannehill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's been quiet. Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert, again, talk about payout. Do we got a name for him? What?
Not yet.
We need a name. But Bolty Herbert here.
Bustin' Justin.
Yeah.
Herbert the Pervert.
The guy got paid, and yes, he was getting his money's worth, but what happened? His line failed him. At the end, they were able to get to him, and the thing is that knowing, and right now with Eckler out, they can focus more on Keenan Allen. They can focus on Mike Williams. I said this on the show prior. Gerald Everett still needs to get involved. He's a good tight end. Make him useful. And then you got Quentin John, the rookie wide receiver.
TCU, yep.
Oh, yeah, so do something here. So who do we give this match to, Brett? Yeah, well, let's put the Jeopardy song while we're waiting.
We're still recording.
Rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3.
Great radio is dead air.
Okay, let's make this a group vote. So far, Brett's choosing Everett. Who you got?
I gotta go with Tristan.
Okay.
Oh, you can't put me in this. I gotta abstain. I gotta abstain.
Yeah, I gotta go with Tristan on this one.
All right, I'm gonna slowly give it to Tristan. Oh, jeez. Tristan, we can talk afterwards. You can pay me $5-10. Okay, we'll give that to. Great points, Everett. You got great points, but the key thing you got to understand is, overall, it's the defense. The defense, especially when you're playing against a high caliber, team against as the Chargers. To beat the Chargers, you got to do is capitalize on their mistakes. Last year, they were going a lot on fourth downs, and they weren't successful. When they start throwing the ball out, it got to the point where they were getting noticed. Like, okay, we know what they're doing. So to play against the Titans, all they got to do is just literally just slow down the game and start torching because their defense is not that great. All right, so Tristan's got that one. Next up, we have the champ, Eric, going against his boy, Chris with the K. All right, so I'm going to start this off with you, champ. The Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bengals are 0-1. Who will rebound from this rough start for week 2?
It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs got it. Josh Allen is shell-shocked right now. I think the Bills are still a little shell-shocked. It's the reigning MVP's deal to get them back. He didn't play a bad game. Let's not forget. He's the quarterback that did not play a bad game. He played a good game, had some receiver issues, but he was throwing dimes still. He is still he is still who we thought he was.
The GOAT.
He is the MVP. And so he'll get them fired up. Everybody has a bad game every once in a while, but you're going to watch the Chiefs go on a tear, probably 10, 11 wins in a row, give or take. But, you'd rather them drop a game early than drop a game late. But it's the Chiefs. They'll rebound faster than everybody else.
I'm going to slightly disagree. I do think they're probably going to do well, but I think, like you said, that was the only quarterback that did play well, so there's not much of a bounce back for him. Whereas the other two really need to show something. They've got the biggest bounce that they need to have. I think between the two of those, I've got to go with my guy Burrow and the Bengals having the biggest bounce because they had the lowest beginning. So like if you're starting off, just an inch above the ground, and then you go up here, everyone else was already up here. There's a little bounce there. There's not as much bounce back. That's how I'm going with this. They started lower, so they've got further to bounce.
I'll give you that, but also Joe should have a good game because the Ravens are already hurt and beat up. Marlon Humphreys isn't going to be there, so their best secondary player is out. So that helps him get to his wide receivers who he couldn't even get targeted to last week. But I still think I got to go with the reigning MVP. I mean, I know who needs to win the game. All these quarterbacks need to win their games,
yeah.
but I just think Mahomes and the Mahomies are going to do a better job. Joe Burrow, he has to go into a tough defense. The Ravens always have a good defense. It's a division rivalry matchup game, so and it's outside.
I do think that the Bengals are the only ones playing a home game this week. I think that is going to be a little bit of a help. They do tend to play better at home. Most teams do in the NFL. They do play better at home. Have a better chance with the signal caller. Also, with the Chiefs going into what we're kind of saying is another rival of theirs now, kind of all the division leaders have basically become the Chiefs' rivals because they can't find one in their own division.
It's true.
Leave our divisions to ourselves, man. We got enough rivals over here. Find your own.
They get everybody's best shot.
Right.
Period and off.
All right. Well, great points. We know for a fact that the Bengals do start slow. It's been shown that they start slow and then they get hot toward the. So that's one. The Bills last week, regardless, Josh Allen had a struggling game. Even there was great chemistry with him and Stephon Diggs. We know all that already. But knowing that Von Miller wasn't there, you could tell that defense was just a little. They were going after Zach Wilson, but these guys are still not bad. That front line.
Carlos, I watched the game. I played defense in high school, a little bit semi-pro. That player that had those 3 picks, he wasn't making amazing plays to make those picks. Those were all forced, double and triple coverage. That's
bad throws.
He had 3 picks all of last year. He had 3 picks in one game. Those were gimmies.
Right.
Yeah, and Josh Allen started falling off with the turnovers last season. He just kept getting turnovers. That's what kept killing him, especially in the postseason.
It's almost like he's pressing.
He's starting off the season with turnovers.
Yeah,
man.
I think we can agree that it's not going to be Allen.
Right. and I know we're talking about the Jets. Aaron Rodgers got hurt, but I saw a butt fumble just about. Josh Allen did a butt fumble.
Oh, he had the old Mark Sanchez.
He ran into his own player, dropped it, and I was like, this is Mark Sanchez.
He just got it.
In New York.
He's getting the yips.
All right. Well, that's. So Brett says, give it to you, champ. Who you go for?
He just took the slight edge right at the end.
I'm not being biased here, but I gotta go with Derek, man. He made some valid points.
It's okay, Everett. Who you got there?
Yeah, Derek.
Dang! Okay. Shut that down.
Bam.
Wow.
It's
Everett, good luck finding a ride tonight. Okay, so. All right. Wow, that's okay, Don. Well, here we go. So we got Don and Everett here. So Everett, we got to get a win here. Don, I'm gonna start this with you. Who will be the toughest NFC East opponent down the stretch? The Eagles or the Cowboys?
Toughest is towards who?
In general, so them two going at it in the regular season, who you think's gonna prevail?
I'm gonna have to go with, you said 49, right?
That's a no. Eagles or Cowboys in the NFC East.
Okay.
Go with the Commanders. Trying to win some judge favor.
I know. Based on how both teams are performing right now, I got to give the slight edge to the Cowboys because they seem to be the better overall team. But then when I go look at Dak Prescott, it's just that he worries me because he always finds a way. He'll go have everything going for him. Then he's in his mind thinking, how can I figure out how to mess this up today? And there he goes. He messes it up. But, the defense is masterful for the Cowboys. And then Philly's defense, they seem to have some slight holes in it. But so right now.
Philly, like Don said, their defense went down. Although their offense is you still got AJ Brown, Smith. They came off amazing game against the Vikings. What's their cornerback's name?
Darius Slay.
Yeah, he's awesome. That's still gonna be the best matchup ever. Jay Jadis and Slay. I think that the Eagles are going to be the biggest opponent. They've still got A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. With an occasional pass like Smith and plus running game. Like, you've basically got a running back in Jalen Hurts who can also throw dimes. And then you've also got Smith, who can run the ball whenever you needed it. And then Penny, like quick short gains, it'll help out here and there. Maybe a touchdown or two from like 1 or 2 yard line. Cowboys though, their running game, Tony Pollard's pretty good, but like Smith is better, and then Jalen Hurts, he's like still running back.
Another thing I want to point out with the Cowboys is, along with their running game, you still got, C.D. Lamb, and as long as Brandon Cooks come back and stays healthy for the rest of the season, you got 2 at least 1,000-yard receivers on both ends. So as long as Dak Prescott can get it to him, and then keep the ball, moving and minimize his mistakes, and the defense there keep ball hawking like, they did last week and just getting after them. I think later down in the middle of the season, we'll have to see once they have those matchups to see who's going to be the better team later on.
All right, Brett, who we taking? Eric?
I think Don did just edge him out.
Don, I think you made some valid points. I'm going to give this to you, Everett, just because I think the Eagles are the bigger threat, in my opinion, and mainly because of their defense and seeing Swift come back. But I like your answer, but you made some really good points, Don, but besides that.
I gotta go with Everett as the bias, but I can't believe that nobody remembers that the Cowboys just stink at the end of the year, like every year. Like, you get 13-3, and then hey, it's January, and everyone wants to play the Cowboys in January because you can win those.
Yeah. Well, I would go for you, Everett, because you threw your dad under the bus. I'm gonna go give it to Don. So, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this to Don. All right. Okay, it's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get real interesting here. All right. So we got Chris going against Tristan. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna start this off with. Okay. Hold on. No, let's change gears real quick because I know my boy's not into college really. So I'm gonna make this into. I'm gonna get you guys squaring off again. So Chris and Don, I'm gonna repeat again. Are the Colorado Buffaloes for real this year?
I believe they are for real. Deion put them through a tough spring training camp, and he weeded out all the bad heads that didn't want to play for him and said that he was too hard and too tough. So, he weeded out all the bad eggs, and now he's got everybody rolling on all cylinders right now. They had a tough test against TCU and pulled off the upset, and then, they started slow against Nebraska, but then once they got it rolling, they seem like the team, that's, too hot to try right now.
Yeah, he absolutely has them turned around. He brought in all the talent, and college football is a talent sport. You get the best guys playing, you're going to win the most games, and he brought the best guys over. Also, Deion knows how to play football. He's a Hall of Fame NFL football player.
Prime time.
He knows how to play the sport, and he knows how to motivate men. He knows how to inspire and get the best out of the best. So, yes, he has changed that around. It was undeniable at TCU. Nebraska, there was a little shakiness. I think that was almost just the kids with nerve, like being excited. They have a full stadium at Colorado for the first time in 20 years at least, 30 probably closer, since Antoine Randall was there. That was 90s something, I think, and I don't even know if it was full back then. But yeah, he has definitely turned Colorado around. I'm super excited that they got back in, that the Big 12 got him back before this happened, because Colorado would be asking, they'd be probably heading to Big 10 or SEC if this had happened and they hadn't already come to the Big 12. So he's absolutely turned them around. Look at the price of tickets to a Colorado game now. He has turned them around.
I don't think I have much to add on that because he pretty much got it for me.
Oh, All right, you made that short and sweet. Yes, Colorado was already a powerhouse in the 90s, and then they just faded away and just had a hard time. And now that prime time has gone over there, I mean, they're just an exciting team to watch. And so, indeed, Colorado they're it. I mean, they made it. Are they in the top? They're not in the top 10 yet, right?
Not yet.
But, I mean, they're making noise. I mean, they still got some teams. They still got some teams. Are they playing USC in them this year?
They have Oregon next week, and then they have USC
That's
the
gonna be
very
big.
week after that.
Those are going to be the telltale.
And those are the two toughest games on their schedule. Here's the thing, though. Like Chris said, he made all the points I would have said. Dion can lead, man. He's a winner at all levels, but he has the guy. They've sold out to everything that he said. And when you have a team of men that sell out to one idea, they're dangerous. And Colorado was 1-11 last year. So Dion came into a situation where he could really do no wrong. After they beat TCU, the sky's the limit, and they're the underdogs in every game. So they have nothing to lose. Everybody else has to try and knock off Dion. Dion just has to go in there and do his thing. And even if he loses a game or two, he's already won the season.
All right, it sounds pretty good. So it's hands down. So we'll give that to you there. So all right. So now we're getting ready, moving into the playoff round. So we're gonna have Chris going against Eric and Driz going against Don. So let's kick this off with you, Eric. With Aaron Rodgers out for the year, are the Jets still an AFC East contenders, or?
Absolutely not. It starts at the top. As soon as Aaron Rodgers ruptured his Achilles, the GM probably went to the bathroom, throwing up sick. All Jets fans gasped out of there. There was a bar that had, if the Jets won the game, all the tabs were free for the people, and they lost that game, and everybody said it's the same old Jets.
Yeah, I actually, it's weird. It's gonna depend on if the front office makes any moves in the next couple weeks. Obviously, no matter what Aaron Rodgers says, he's 38 years old and he just tore his Achilles. He's not gonna be back this year. He won't be back. He'll be in a cast until December at least,
if not January.
Yeah, like he won't be able to move at all, let alone start rehabbing that until the end of the year. So he's not coming back. If they can figure out to get even a serviceable guy in there, I'm talking really like an Andy Dalton, just someone that's not going to be making Zach Wilson type mistakes. I mean, Joe Flacco was able to win a game with him last year because he could only play about one game. I think he was so old by that point. But all they need is someone in there that's going to be able to be consistently there. I mean, they don't need the big long ball. Every team needs it, but they've got a good enough defense and a good enough running game that they don't need the best quarterback. They just need an okay quarterback, and they could still make a run in the division, I think.
Like Chris said, a serviceable guy, not Colin Kaepernick, not Cam Newton.
Those guys aren't. They've been out.
As soon as that news came out, it was a joke. You know, this team is honestly, they're on thin ice right now. Like I said, the person I feel the worst for is the GM and the coach, because this year was supposed to be a great year for them, and they're shattered right now. Breece Hall is their running back, correct?
Yeah,
he's coming off of an
Dalvin,
ACL.
Dalvin
And
Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook didn't look too bad. He looked a little shaky to me.
He got there late in camp, though, so they're still setting up launching.
But the whole offensive scheme has now changed.
There's a name you guys haven't mentioned, and I know I might get some criticism for this, but why not Marcus Mariota?
That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna have to. I don't know all the names that are out there that are available backups, but it's got to be someone like that, like someone that's a
well, hell,
good
bring in
service.
Chad Pennington or Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny ruptured his Achilles in the beginning of the game, just like Aaron did. But
Reminiscing the good times.
But I mean, there's good quality guys out there that aren't rocket ship chances of making. They're trying to.
But that's another big trade, and they don't have much trade
They
capital.
don't have trade. They don't have cap space, and they don't have a lot of options.
All right, who are you taking, Brett?
We need to get that music on.
No, we need the music bad. All right, Don, start it off with you.
They both made valid points, but man, I hate going against Eric, but I might have to give some slight edge to Chris.
I'm gonna go with my father on this one. Smart. So, I mean,
Securing that ride home.
he like said all of the points, and then like Eric had all of the exact same points, and then like took a slight snap.
I'll give the slight edge. I think it was close. I'm gonna give slight edge to Eric. I'll give this to Eric.
You just can't. You just cannot deny the fact. The key out of all this is literally in the heart of the GM. For him to go out of his way to make this happen. I mean, we were all excited, and then for just in a moment blink,
4 snaps.
just
Was
done.
this like a Hard Knocks curse or something like that? Is that something
It might
that
be a
is
Hard
out
Knocks
there?
curse.
He wasn't on the cover of Madden this year, so it wasn't the Madden curse.
It's been a long time since he's been on the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it was just a nasty injury. So
Do you, let me ask Chris a question.
the
This
Jets
might be
curse.
like a deciding factor. Do you think the fact that it was on turf, do you think it would have happened if it was on grass?
Oh, that's hard to say.
Because, a lot of players are against turf now. OBJ.
Well, they want to get a set field across all fields, like whatever it is. Like pick one, everyone use the same, so we're all used to it.
Hey Chris, did you see the Sunday night game? The Sunday night, the Cowboys and Giants. Did you see when Daniel Jones had all that turf? Yeah, that's just ridiculous. So, all right, well, Eric, you advance. All right, so this is gonna go on to Don and Tristan. Don, Eric, Tristan. I'm gonna start this off with you. The Browns' spectacular win against the Bengals. Are the Browns in the prime seat to win the AFC North? Yes or no?
All right. That's a big
Dog
question.
pound.
Are they in the prime seat? No, I don't think so. I mean, they had a great game, man. But here's the thing: we know that the Bengals always have a tough game against the Browns. So I feel like that wasn't a very big shocker. They always lose. They always somehow lose to them, no matter whether they're bad or good. So that's one thing they have over them. And two, I mean, you still got the Bengals, who are, in my opinion, they're the ones that are going to take the division again this year. And you still got the Ravens, who, in my opinion, are a bigger threat. So they're not in a. I guess they have the weapons. This would be their chance to take the division, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, because I know they had a great game, but can they dominate teams like that all season? I don't think so. Because Cincinnati had an off game. They're not going to have an off game like that again. So it's the division that's going to be decided between either Baltimore or Cincinnati. They're going to come back, rebound, and pretty much most likely take the division. And while the Browns, they're going to hang around in their midway. They may be a couple games above 500 because they do have a lot of talent. And defensive-wise, they have a defense, to contain a lot of offenses. So, they're not going to win the division, but, they're going to be there hanging around there, just nipping on their ankles. But, they're not going to win the division. They're no threat to win the division between either Baltimore or Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're going to be the team that just gives some losses in the division to those teams that you think are going to take it. I feel like one thing with me, I feel like, of course, they've always been a running team, but I feel like with Deshaun Watson, the weapons they have at quarterback and the receiving core, I feel like they could do a lot more. And if they can get something cooking in the passing game, I mean, I think it could be a different story. But, I mean, they just rely too heavily on Nick Chubb, and I feel like it's going to lead to injuries and fatigue and, all that stuff. But, yeah, they're not in the prime spot.
Yeah, they just got to keep it up defensively if they want to have a chance. Otherwise, I don't think there's no way they're going to win.
What I was going to ask you, Eric, is now that Deshaun Watson's there, I mean, he's a mobile quarterback. I mean, he's got Peoples-Jones as wide receiver and Amari Cooper as well, and then Njoku as well. Do you feel that with Nick Chubb in the back, do they have already the weapons to challenge in the AFC North?
I think personally they do, but here's the thing. They're not going to be a contender until we get a real Deshaun Watson. Until we get Deshaun Watson that was in Houston, he's a shell of himself until he comes back. When he decides to turn the corner and really focus on football, because that's really the issue. If he focuses on football like he was in Houston, now that he's got $268 guaranteed $1 million, and they gave, 3 first-round picks and the rest of the house to go with it, until he's focused on that level, they will not turn the corner. They'll be a mediocre team in the AFC North.
We just got memo here that Deshaun Watson gets his massages at a community college now. So it's not private anymore. So just throwing it out there. So good job, Deshaun Watson. All right, Brett, who are you taking? Just go for it. Go for it.
I'm gonna go with Don.
Oh, actually, I also wanted to throw this. The reason I am, I just, the reason I said that I just did because I wanted to, because no one made the biggest point, in my opinion, which is that the Browns have never won the AFC North since they came back. Ever. Not once. They've made it to the playoffs twice as wild cards, barely, by the luck of was it just once? Was the Baker once? Just once, yeah. Not even the other time they had double-digit wins did they make it. So this, like, we're talking historically, like, even bringing this up is kind of, like, making me mad.
I'm going to go with Tristan on this one.
Here's another thing you guys didn't bring up. No one's showing no respect to the throwback emblem, that Keebler elf. No one's and then the jerseys. They're wearing different jerseys. You notice that?
Win, bro? Nah.
They need to change it. But no, at the end of the day, I got to give it to you, Tristan. You got some good, solid points going in. So, all right. So I'll give it to you on that. So you will see Eric in the championship. All right. So for consolation here, Chris and Don. Don, I'll start this off with you.
I thought we were done.
No, this is for second. This is for bragging rights, third place. Don, if the Jaguars beat the Chiefs tomorrow, are the Jags considered the favorites in the AFC?
Good question.
Because anything can happen between now and the end of the season. Sure. But I do believe if they can beat the Chiefs, I feel they should be the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I agree with you, Don. Because they'd be 2-0, which puts them at the top of the conference, and they just beat the reigning champs and MVP, and who is still the favorite, I would say, even with a loss. Even after 2 losses, they'll still probably be the favorite because we know what the Chiefs can do. So yeah, I just agree with you, Don, I guess. If the Jags win, they're probably the favorites.
Tristan, who you taking?
I guess I'll go with the Don since you basically just agree with him. I would have looked like a little more elaboration, but I mean, hey, y'all, it was straight to the point.
Hey, sometimes there's home runs hit. You know, Don, that's it.
I'll go with my dad just so I can go home tonight.
I'm going to give it to Don, man. Let's just give it to Don. Good job, Don. All right, here we go. Let's start it off with the championship here. So all eyes are on our reigning champ, Eric, going against Driz.
It's good to be back.
Cheese Kingdom. All right. I'm going to start this off with you, Tristan. The Raiders are currently in first place in the AFC West. Could them beating the Bills tomorrow make them possible contenders for the division? What are your thoughts?
Okay, looking at it how we are now, I guess you could say yes, but again, we have 15 more games left after this week, so no, because you still got the Chargers and the Chiefs, who, in my opinion, I think everybody's opinion are much better teams. Just offensively at quarterback, Herbert's better, Mahomes is better, and that's really all you need to say. So no, man, I would love for them to beat the Bills. That just gives the Chiefs a better opportunity to get a better seeding, get first seed, But I doubt it'll happen, Don. I'm sorry, man. They're just, if y'all had a better quarterback, maybe. But even then, you're still looking at the Chargers and Chiefs, man. Come on, you can't count them out.
Jimmy G's
And
been in the Super Bowl.
here's where I'll jump in. Thank you, Chris. Jimmy G has been in the Super Bowl. Jimmy G is a Patriots product. He is a winner. He's won. He's taken teams places. He is an underdog, but I mean he can game manage his way to a win. He does have one of the best receivers in the league in Devontae Adams. He does know how to get him the ball. He does have Josh Jacobs, a proven Alabama running back, probably one of the best Alabama running backs that has come out in the last 10 years. And so if the defense can get Jimmy G a couple of extra possessions and Josh Allen doesn't bounce back like he needs to prove his $150-something million guarantee that he has, the Raiders can be a problem, a big problem. But are they a big enough problem to beat the Chiefs down the stretch? No. But they can make the playoffs.
Ooh. I don't even know if they'll be able to make the playoffs, man. Look, listen, the AFC is just too difficult of a division, man.
We're talking about if they beat the Bills.
If they beat the Bills. If they beat the Bills, you still have the Chargers too. I'm not even concerned about the Chiefs. I'm concerned about if they'll even be able to overtake the Chargers, and I don't think they will. I mean, they went neck to neck with Miami, and Miami played phenomenal. They just fell off at the end, and Herbert's just got better weapons to deal with. He has that bazooka arm where he can actually get the ball down the field in the right spot where they need to be.
You're right, but what did that bazooka arm do last game? Threw picks.
Okay, everybody throws picks, man. Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen threw 3 picks last game, but I wouldn't count Josh Allen out for the season. But
I mean, this is true.
yeah, but he's a good time clock management guy and all that. But I mean, there's only so much you can do, I guess, given the cards you're dealt. And just at this point, the Chargers are better offensively and slightly better defensively. And then, of course, the Chiefs just blow both those teams out the water with their offense.
Yeah, this is true. But I think, sometimes you still have to play the game to win the game. There's a lot of teams that were supposed to win on paper that haven't done it. Even the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, was supposed to beat Eli Manning twice, and it didn't happen because you have to play the game.
It wasn't part of the script, that's why. They didn't want that to happen. No, but, yeah, man, I would love for them to beat the Bills, and I think that would be a big statement to how good they will be, but just too tough a division. I don't even think they'll make the playoffs.
Man, you guys are going neck to neck. Okay, let me see if I can spice it up a little bit more before we go for our vote here. So, proven point, yes, Eric agrees. Jimmy Garoppolo has Super Bowl experience, being on the bench and playing as well. And especially you got Devontae Adams, and then Renfro hasn't really stepped up as much as we need him to be, but their run game is great. Now, on the defensive side, their front line is all right, the way they controlled last week against the Broncos, but it's the Broncos, so to me, that's not a statement game. But on the flip side, the Bills, if they lose to the Raiders, I feel that's more of a problem with the Bills. Something is going on there because they have everybody. I mean, they've got Davis, they've got Diggs, I mean, they got Knox. I mean, they have a running back committee that's still not proven to be elite running backs. So, that being said, is there anyone that can pinpoint to help these guys out? Because they both got valid points.
You know what?
Ask another question.
I'll throw something in there because that you brought this up. He didn't start a game with the Patriots, right? He just played on the bench. The one game he did start in the Super Bowl, guess who he lost to? Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And I'm assuming that's going to be the case again. When, of course, it's always the case when they play the Chiefs. They just lose.
It's not always the case. The Chiefs went in there, 2 years ago? And when they drove the bus around the stadium twice, you remember that game, Justin?
Oh, I remember that game, but that was 2 years ago. Come on, you're talking about the past. If you want to be more recent, last year, it was a sweep, man.
That's when they had Derek Carr. He's now gone. Now
I think Derek Carr's a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
But I feel Jimmy Garoppolo's more of a conventional, stay to the script type of quarterback. But
Yeah.
you do have a point. All right, you guys. Well, this is it, man. I mean, I did everything I could here. Eric, in the back, who are you taking?
Bro, is it my call? There it is.
I'm going to take Tristan.
They both had really good points. I think I'm going to give it to Eric. He had a few better points than him, plus he had a pretty sick burn.
Ooh, going for the burn. I like Tristan's points. I'm going to go with Tristan here.
I'm going with Eric.
It comes down to Carlos.
I think that's biased.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Is it tie?
No,
It comes down to Carlos.
All right, it's come down to me. All right. Okay. You both have some great points, and regardless of what quarterback is playing in the Raiders system, they've always find a way to lose against the Chiefs. And we can't reminisce in the past as well. But let's kind of peel that onion a little bit here. With the Raiders, you got Josh McDaniels coming in. We know already he has not proven to be an elite coach. We know this. And I know that him bringing in Jimmy G, because he's the prodigy of the Patriot way, we know the Patriot way has not always been successful. Think of the teams that have left the Patriots way. Who's the only one that's somewhat been successful? The Tampa Bay Bucks. That's just because Tom Brady. He brought in that scheme of things, not Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels had nothing to do with that, nor Matt Patricia or Charlie Weiss or Romeo Crennel. The thing is that those kind of players, Jimmy Garoppolo has watched Tom Brady go from there, and I will give the key edge on what Eric has said. Jimmy knows how to manage the teams. Look what he has done so far. I mean, it's only one game, but look the difference between him and Derek Carr. Derek Carr, give him credit for being able to distribute the ball, do what you got to do. But Jimmy, you can tell he's, especially with him and Jacoby Myers, what a great connection having with him. I mean, he wasn't even giving the ball that much to Devontae Adams, and then with the solid run game. So both of you guys had some great points, and this is just irking me because you both are doing it. But man, it's tough. It's really tough. But I'm gonna put a little seasoning in for Driston, just a little bit of seasoning, because the thing is we can't reminisce the past. He has proven over and over that the Chiefs has always comes through when they need him to be. They beat you guys in prime time, and at the end of the day, he has shut up the Bengals. He has shut up the Bills. He has shut up the Raiders, the Chargers. So that's just a hard one. But you know what? I'll tell you this, Eric. You both were just right there neck to neck. And so because it's, I have to do this because this is just no way that you both had some good points. I mean, my heart goes out to the both of you guys because you both win. But because of just the simple fact that Driston likes to find ways to just do things like that, I'm going to go ahead and give this to Driston on this one. So, Driston, you won, man. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel great.
I thought that was a tie, because that's
in my heart.
Oh!
Carlos.
Someone has to win.
Right.
This isn't soccer.
Carlos made the
Or hockey.
executive decision.
But you guys know you both are great, man. You guys, wow, what a great show. So stay tuned. Hey, this is just only the first Mano. We got plenty to go. And it goes to show when it comes to Mano, Eric is the Patrick Mahomes. So we'll pretend you are Joe Burrow in this one. You got that win.
I'll pass on that.
Wow, okay, I'll remember that next week. All right, any shout-outs before we go, Don?
Shout out to all the fellas here and everybody, keeping us going. I appreciate being with y'all fellas.
Yeah, just thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, shout out to you guys watching. Shout out to those in the back, and you guys for letting me be on the show.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you, Eric. Feels good. You always make good points and bring up some great arguments, man. It's always fun to compete against you.
I appreciate that. Shout out to all of our United States military members here, stateside and abroad, holding it down so we can do things like this that we love, talk about sports. I love you guys, and my heart goes out to all your families and friends.
I should have voted for you, but okay. That was deep. Man, Phil Collins here. Thank you guys as well. Thank you for making it happen, that we're able to get away from the things that we're doing to talk sports and just having a blast with you guys. Time just flies. And shout out to our audience as well. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to the people that behind the scenes that make it happen. Follow us. We are going to do a giveaway. We will do that announcement on Wednesday. We were going to do it today, but we're going to do it on Wednesday. And what we're going to do is give away a gift certificate to Shields. So if you go out there, your friends here from Sportsfellas is going to give you out a gift certificate to go to Shields. Also, I want to give you a special shout out, Eric. Congratulations on your promo, man. I'm very proud of you, man. I can say truly from the bottom of my heart that sky's the limit.
Thank
and
you
you're
so
a great dude. I mean, I don't care about how stinky the Steelers are. You make me want to be able to say, hey, you know what? I have a Steeler friend in you. And Driz, of course, man, congrats, man. You're doing it, man. You're making it happen, man. You're making it happen. But your wide receiver, of course, still sucks. Everett, great job, man. You're doing it, man. You're growing before our eyes, man. You are just on it, man. And thank you, Chris, as always, man. He's a great coach here, Coach K over here. So making it happen.
Pushes me to the wire every time.
I know.
Chris with a K.
Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. We guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll look forward to the next episode. We're out.